Britain's emergency and rescue services are busier than ever.
One jumped out.
Budgets are under pressure, and forces on the ground are stretched.
Now, it's a pursuit situation.
Now they are turning to air power for vital support in saving lives and solving crime. With countrywide access to the police, Coast Guard, fire and ambulance services, and using exclusive 999 footage, we show how the latest cutting-edge equipment is being used to innovate from the air. This is the inside story of 999 Britain from above. This week, from a new army of drones to one of the world's fastest rescue helicopters, we explore a new age of high-tech, high-performance air power that is revolutionizing emergency rescue. 3 years ago, only a handful of drones were being used by our emergency services. Now, there are over 200.
Compared to your commercial drone that you could go out into the shop and buy, this is a military-spec drone. It's actually used by the US military and also by the Royal Air Force Regiment. And it's a lot bigger, it's more robust, it's reliable. The camera on it is a much higher specification.
Thanks to their size, drones can reach places that helicopters can't. They can fly very low and search large areas for the smallest detail. And that's proving a crucial new tool in the search for missing people. As in one recent life-saving mission in Norfolk.
On air.
Rescue teams are looking for an elderly man who went missing on a beach in Norfolk.
75-year-old Peter Pugh has been reported missing. He was last seen by his family going for a walk along the coast.
I felt that this was a pretty serious situation because it was very unlike him.
The coastline here is notorious for surging tides and deceptively deep salt marshes.
The reeds can go up to 3 meters tall. The mud in many places is very soft and you will get stuck in it.
Searching the reeds on foot would be slow and dangerous. A Coast Guard helicopter is called in the hope that Peter's body heat will be detected by its infrared camera.
It can take a lot of legwork out for us and see a lot of things that we simply can't get to.
But stuck in the marshes, Peter could be too cold for the camera to spot.
If you put someone up to the neck in freezing cold water, make them semi-hypothermic, and cover them in reeds, it makes it a whole different ballgame. We continued the search through until 2 a.m., by which time it was pitch black, so reluctantly the search was suspended.
Given the risk of hypothermia, an anxious night lies ahead for the family.
And I suppose we were all expecting that, you know, that would have been the last time we'd seen him.
Daybreak over the Norfolk marshes, and the search for Peter resumes.
I have to say, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I thought, when it was light and things, you know, the birds were all cheeping, I was thinking, I don't think we're going to see him again.
There's still one option that hasn't been tried. Norfolk police and fire units send up a drone.
I can put that drone, you know, only at 20, 30 meters above the marsh and really look into the reeds. If the helicopter's been over a few times, can't find them with a thermal, I'm going to use a different tactic and I'm going to physically look for the signs of where someone's been rather than relying on just heat alone.
The search from the air continues all day, but by late afternoon, any hope of finding Peter alive is slipping away.
I was doing a return trip, just searching all the waterways, and as I swung round, I could see what looked like another track that a deer had made, and I just panned across, and as I come to the end of that track, I could see something in the water. And then I saw Peter. My words were, I found him. And then my next words were, and he's still alive.
He's alive! And then pandemonium broke out. It was just unbelievable. We crowded around the screen and were looking. And we're going,
Officers from Norfolk Police update the family.
He said, sit down. I won't take long to tell you, but he has been sighted and he's been talking to us. Well, that's when all the emotion came out, I have to tell you.
And then I put on the air, say, if everyone could see one drone in the air, he's virtually above him. Everyone could see where to head to.
Casualty is hypothermic, confused, and up to his shoulders in water at this time. Over.
Peter was safely airlifted to King's Lynn Hospital.
I hope other people don't have to experience it, but it's immensely comforting knowing what professionals there are there.
But I think without that kind of technology, we would never have seen him from where he was. Without that drone, we wouldn't have saved him.
There are now 20,000 fewer police than 10 years ago. When patrolling special events, police need to be used as efficiently as possible. One of the biggest challenges is crowd control, and especially football matches. And a new type of air support is helping stretched forces below. It's the end of a derby game between Norwich and Ipswich at Carrow Road. Helicopters have traditionally patrolled the biggest games, but with just 19 police aircraft in the country, there's simply not enough to go round. CCTV cameras help, but football gangs have thought of that.
Some of the away spectators have covered security cameras.
It's not so easy to cover the drone's camera. It scans the crowd, feeding live pictures to officers on the ground.
The use of drones in policing has really sort of changed the way we do things. In the control room, we'll be looking down and actually seeing where the resources are. It just gives that much better overview of what's going on.
Because here we are walking up the slope and we can't see a massive amount in front of us. But if you have a drone up and then you have the technology in your hands, it's very helpful to know what's going on.
After the game, Norwich fans and their Ipswich rivals start to gather outside the stadium and face off, either side of a flimsy barrier.
Form the line, keep it calm. You'll move.
Footage from the camera means police see the situation developing early. And ground forces are redistributed to the trouble spot.
What the drone does do is gives you a really good indication of how the crowd dynamic is. So you will see as a crowd's moving whether they're going to be causing problems.
Thankfully, the situation is swiftly de-escalated, and the fans go home without injury to themselves or the police. Costing up to £6 million, helicopters are around 100 times more expensive than drones. Both now carry out tasks like ground control and finding people. But because drones are so small and nimble, there are some situations they are uniquely equipped to deal with. That's when rescue services have to see close into impossible-to-access dangerous places. As seen in one of the biggest emergencies ever to face the county of Derbyshire. In the town of Whaley Bridge, a month's worth of rain has fallen in just 24 hours. Half a mile away, above the village, a torrent is cascading over the Toddbrook Dam spillway. The next morning, the rain has stopped, but there are signs of damage to the dam. Derbyshire Police send up a drone. With its agility and 30 times zoom camera, it can see right into the broken dam wall.
The damage was significant. We could see quite a lot of water spilling at that point and a lot of the clay sliding down. We knew it was serious and we knew we had to do what we could.
If we'd have not had the drone, somebody would have had to got up close to the damage, scaling down on a rope down the dam to have a look, putting their life at risk.
Engineers watching the images are now gravely concerned the dam could give way any minute, and 1.2 billion litres of water engulf the 6,000 residents below, meaning total destruction of the village and certain death.
It was easy to tell from the extent of the damage that it could have easily gone, and it would have caused massive damage.
It would be the silt, it would be the sand, it would be the clay, everything coming within the rocks and the boulders, and it would have taken the village.
Police ordered the town to be evacuated.
People here in Whaley Bridge didn't know where they're coming back to their houses or where they're coming back to a flooded village that was.
The eye in the sky helps again, scanning the streets for people slow to leave, as police clear the area.
We were able to fly the drone over the village, identify anything that's sort of moving, because there shouldn't really be anybody moving about.
The dam must be kept from collapsing until the water is pumped out of the reservoir, so residents can be returned safely to their homes. RAF Chinooks arrived to plug the hole with huge sandbags. Helicopter and drone work together as information is constantly fed to both the RAF and engineers.
We were asked by some of their commanders to have a look once the Chinook had been and dropped the aggregate where they needed to drop next, and whether or not there were any breaches following the aggregate drop as well.
Working around the clock, hundreds of tons of sand and cement continued to shore up the dam, while 1 billion litres of water is pumped out of the reservoir.
There was probably between 6 and 10 of us doing different shifts and working together. So we were able to give pretty much a constant, if they needed some footage, we'll go and do it.
The dam holds, and water in the reservoir is now at safe levels.
We could provide that footage nearly instantly. I think putting somebody in a position where they could assess it may have taken hours, and it might have been a different story by now.
Whaley Bridge is alive and kicking. You know, we are here, and that is something which we're proud of.
Hospitals come to the roadside at incredible speed.
The fastest into the sky, as well as being the fastest in the sky.
And air support plays a key role in one of the country's biggest ever wildfires.
It's been logged as arson and it's beginning to spread.
State-of-the-art air power now plays a crucial part in saving lives. And when large areas of the country need to be covered at high speed with people and equipment, there is no substitute for helicopters. One area where they make a major contribution is road accidents, which killed or seriously injured over 25,000 people last year. Receiving treatment within 60 minutes, known as the golden hour, can be the difference between life and death. We're at HQ for Derbyshire, Leicestershire and Rutland Air Ambulance.
RTA on the A52, female in car, airbag is deployed.
Is the female trapped in the vehicle or is she sat in the vehicle?
The call is ranked as a priority red, life-threatening emergency.
The call was in Kurt Langman and Ashford, RTC, head on.
When every minute counts, the clock is urgently ticking. The crash site is 60 miles away, and flying there is a 180-mile-an-hour Augusta helicopter, one of the fastest in the world.
We could be airborne in about 1.5 minutes, which makes it the fastest into the sky, as well as being the fastest in the sky.
The helicopter is kitted out as a flying hospital, equipped with a ventilator and defibrillator. Crew are pilot John McCallion, critical care paramedic Keith Rutherford, and in the back, critical care doctor Stuart Maitland-Knibb, who's trained to carry out roadside surgery.
That might be something like an actual amputation of a limb to save their life, or it could be through to the fact that we're actually giving them a general anaesthetic to perform actual surgery, and that can be right through to open heart surgery.
Air traffic control clear a direct route to the crash. And the air ambulance nears the site.
Okay, landing checks ready, please. Landing surveillance.
Driver, just 2 people involved, yeah? Fire upon your head.
Hi, I'm Stuart, I'm one of the doctors. Just going to pop this on your finger.
The casualty, Gwen, is conscious but has acute abdominal pain. Dr. Maitland-Nibb must decide whether to treat Gwen by the road or fly her straight to hospital.
All right, Gwen. She could start bleeding catastrophically inside, so you have to be prepared for that. What we do know is that she can't stay there all day, all night, and we need to move.
Ready, brace, slide.
The fastest way to get her to a major trauma centre was going to be by the helicopter, and we were going to reduce the travel time probably by about 30 minutes. And time is everything when you've got a patient that's critically unwell.
Good afternoon, Stoke. It's Stuart, one of the HEMS doctors. So I'm bringing to you a lady, RTC, head-on, car versus car, closing speed of 100 miles an hour.
The nearest trauma hospital is in Stoke, at best a 40-minute drive away.
All good in the back, lovely.
But the helicopter travels 4 times the speed of a car.
They were like clockwork. The right hand knew what the left hand was doing. They were almost reading each other's minds. Things were just happening. The amount of time and the amount of injuries that I'd got if I'd been left there, who knows what could have happened.
The air ambulance touches down and Gwen is transferred to the care of Stoke Hospital.
This is Gwen, complaining of pain in her abdomen and her pelvis.
Their calm makes you feel calm. And I don't remember panicking. Dr. Stu was, I couldn't sing his praises enough. I owe my life to him. It was just absolutely amazing.
Thank you, chap.
Cheers.
Gwen suffered internal injuries and several broken bones. She was discharged from hospital after 17 days. From rescue to disasters and medical emergencies to crowd control, air power is now essential. The fire service is also using the sky in increasingly innovative ways. Airborne GPS systems and infrared cameras track the spread of fire and check the temperature of objects at risk of exploding. This combination of fire mapping with heat detection proved crucial in Lancashire, tackling one of the biggest wildfires this country has ever seen.
There's a fire, sounds like one of these small fires. It's been logged as arson and it's beginning to spread.
On the Lancashire moors, it's the driest start to summer for over 50 years, and firefighters are struggling to control the blaze. In the first 24 hours, the flames sweep across grassland, heading towards homes and people a couple of miles away. First, a police helicopter is sent up to scan the surrounding area to make an initial assessment of the danger.
If you could do a circuit of the fire and let us know the approximate distance the fire line is from the mast. Come on then, pass 2-1.
Yeah, we make it from the short mast to the leading edge of the fire, approximately 1 kilometre.
It not only shows the proximity of homes, but an immediate threat to a major communications mast.
The transmitter, it serves all the emergency radios for the areas, so the fires were spreading towards it. This could create such a serious situation.
The aerial view is vital, but the helicopter costs £100 an hour in fuel alone, while it's less than £2 to charge a drone battery for half an hour's flight time. The drone takes over and feeds ground commanders with live information from its GPS and camera.
Using its mapping GPS technology can actually give a much more accurate idea where the fire front was, what direction it was moving in.
The spread of fire is tracked towards the mast, but also monitored as a growing threat to the nearby houses.
The cottages, the farmhouses, the barns were at risk, and we were able to send firefighters to protect the surrounding buildings.
Assisted by air intelligence, the fire crews douse the nearest flames and dig trenches as fire barriers, while the area is evacuated. The homes are saved and the flames extinguished just feet from the radio mast. But the danger is nowhere near over. Ground crews fight the fire for days on end, assisted continuously by technology in the air. And the infrared camera proves invaluable, as amazingly it reveals fire travelling invisibly in the peat below.
We're flying very early hours of the morning while the ground was still cool, and that enabled us to put the thermal imaging camera on there, and that automatically detects heat underneath the ground. So again, we could redirect the firefighters to them particular areas of the moorland.
Finally, after 5 whole weeks, the fire is put out. An expanse 3 times the size of Gibraltar has been burned.
We could send the air support unit up, and that just meant that we were not risking those firefighters. Although there was such a lot of damage done to the immediate area, the fire would have lasted longer if we hadn't have had the drone.
For fire, ambulance, police and Coast Guard, the eyes in the sky are now essential weapons in the ever-changing battle to keep us safe and solve crime.
Coming up, a sharp insight into the harsh realities of life in jail inside prison. Britain Behind Bars is Thursday night at 9. And this Friday night, join us at 7 as the European qualifiers continue when Gareth Southgate's England face the Czech Republic in Prague. Next, we return to Coronation Street.